Hi, everybody. I'm Joe Biedrzycki. Welcome to Politics in Chester. I'm filling in this political season for Carl Knudsen, who developed this program, and he wrote all the questions. Joe Castricone and Kat are back in the control room as our producers. I'm talking today with Kristina Bickford. She's a candidate for school board in the upcoming town election on May 12th. Thanks for making your time available to us.
Thank you.
Can you start first of all and tell us a little bit about yourself, since we've never met?
Sure. So my name's Kristina Bickford. I have 3 boys, ages 4, 5, who actually turn 6 next week, and a 7-year-old, 2 of which are already at Chester Academy. One's in kindergarten, one's in 2nd grade. My youngest is still in pre-K. My parents moved me to Chester actually when I was 7 years old, so I've been in this town for just about 32 years. So I do know Chester very, very well. I went to Chester Academy actually in this building when it was originally the school was here, and then I did 2 years at the new school.
Welcome back to school.
Oh, thank you.
We've changed it a little.
A little bit, yes. So aside from that, I work at a local hospital. I work at Parkland Medical Center. I work as a manager within radiology there, and I've been there for just about 10 years.
Great. Exciting life.
Yes.
So with 3 boys, you obviously have a vested interest in education here
Yes,
in town.
I do, very much.
Why is it important for you to hold an elected position on the school board?
So I think that's multifaceted. One is I lived in this community majority of my life, so I want to give back to it and do what I can for this community. And aside from that, having 3 boys and knowing education is so important that I wanted to make sure that my kids, and really all the kids of Chester, had a good education. And I felt that when I first ran for school board, that Chester wasn't all that it could be, and I wanted to dive in deeper as to why that was happening. And I felt that as a mom, I could maybe bring a different aspect to that school that at the time was not on the board. So bring a different perspective.
Now, you're running for re-election.
I am.
So what'd you learn in the first term that made you want to come back for another one?
Oh, I like punishment, apparently. I like being very busy. So within the first term, at least my first year, because I had never done anything like this before, it was a learning experience, truly. I just tried to absorb as much as I could in that first year. All the processes, all the laws, all the regulations, just the way the budget works throughout the year, all of that was completely learning. So I didn't really feel until my second year can I kind of start running with this. I worked on a lot of policies throughout that first year, trying to understand how that school operated. Now that I have my feet under me, I want to go back for at least another 3 years to keep the momentum that we've started having at that school and the progress that we started making.
Do you find yourself comparing the Chester school system you attended to the one that you will now represent as a school board member?
A little bit, yeah.
Or is it apples and oranges because so much time's gone by?
You know, there's still some of the same teachers that are there. So, I mean, a little
They'd
bit.
be flattered to hear you say
things
that.
have definitely changed. Regulations have happened. It's not, the school system itself is not the same as when I was a kid.
Right.
But there's still a lot of similarities.
How's your attendance record as a board member?
I have made every school board meeting. I have not missed one.
That's a good thing.
I make it a priority to be there. And not to tell too much of a personal story, but the very first school board meeting after I got elected, my son ended up in the hospital down in Boston. And I had already been down there for 2 days with him. So I did need a little bit of a break because I had been there for like 48 hours straight. So me and my husband did a little swap. So he came down to have some time with him, and I came home, was able to make that first meeting, actually get sworn in, got a good night's sleep, and then went back down the next day. So we make it a priority that I can.
Do you feel that your first term you were able to make an impact?
I think so. I like to think so. Within that first term, I was on 2 different hiring committees, so I was an important decision on making the new superintendent that we have. I was involved in that decision heavily. I was involved in the decision of our current assistant principal and who I hired there, as well as a lot of the policies that we have changed at that school when it comes to parental involvement. When we hired the new psychologist, I was very involved with the policies that we implemented with that to make sure that parents had a say in who their kids were talking to and how they were receiving therapy. Mm-hmm. So yeah, I like to think that I've made a difference, and a lot of changes we have started making progress in is within the curriculum, and that really comes down from the superintendent. And so when we were searching for one, I was looking heavily into their background and what have they done with curriculum in the past. That was one of the main things I was looking at. And so I was very happy with who we had hired. And I think in the first year, we saw already the results of things that she can do, as we saw our test scores dramatically increase, the biggest increase the state has seen since they've done assessment testing.
That partly answers my next question. How do you think the school, the town, and of course the students mostly, have benefited so far and would benefit further by your reelection?
So basically things I was just alluding to there, but just keeping that momentum, keeping that progress. I haven't completely done everything I want to do yet. There are still some changes I believe that need to be made at that school within leadership and just some of the directions that we're taking it within the curriculum. We still have work to do when it comes to science, when it comes to ELA, we're okay, but we can make some progress there. And we just started making progress in math, but we can go further. In realigning some of our curriculum to work with Pinkerton so that as our kids age out, that they're not being left behind when they hit Pinkerton.
So things worked.
They're starting to.
But
yes.
There's more work to do.
There's more work to do.
There's a lot of things that a school board is responsible for.
Yeah.
And it takes a lot of time, not just the Wednesday night meetings,
Yes.
But a little bit of homework, I would imagine.
Yes, there is.
Running a busy household and family. Do you have that time still to be able to dedicate to it?
Yeah, I've luckily been able to make it work. When I was first elected, my youngest had just turned 1 year old. So we were very busy back then in a different set, the baby ages. Now that my kids are getting a little older, they're getting into sports. And I have talked with my husband about how that's going to work in the next few years as they get more heavily into traveling with their sports. But I think you make time for what's important, and this is very important to me. And I have a good support system. My parents still live in town, so they help us out a lot. My husband's very supportive. And so we just plan out our calendar months in advance that we know where we're going to be and where we have to be, and everyone helps out.
Was there any training offered to you when you first got involved? How'd you get up to speed?
Yes. So there is that school board training that you can do through NASBA, the New Hampshire School Board Association. So I did do those classes. I did all the right to know laws and all those online forums. So I did that in the first couple of months. But honestly, for me, it was learning throughout that whole year and actually going through it. I'm a hands-on learner. So you can tell me something all day long. It doesn't necessarily mean that I'm fully understanding it until I go through it.
Was the training a benefit?
It was. I liked it. But I think living it for that year is where I learned the most.
Is it something that would be available to you as a second term?
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Would you do it again?
I could. Yeah, I would.
Has enough changed in 2 years, 3 years?
Not really within those laws, but I think having refreshers are always good.
How do you think the Chester School District can increase and improve with community relations?
I think we're making progress there, but I think there's more to do. When I first came on the board, there was, I believe, a big disconnect between the school and just the community in general. So my step when I first came on was with the parents. And so I made an effort I became the PTA liaison, and I made an effort to go to every single one of the PTA meetings and make sure that they always knew that I was available to them, just as parents. Whenever we go out to sporting events or my husband coaches, and just try to talk to people and reach out that way. That's how I started that process. This past year, with some of the people that we have elected, we started having our board members go to the selectmen meetings on Thursday nights. We started having our chair and even the superintendent attend more budget meetings than previously we've done. And recently, we've had our superintendent and our board chair go out to, I'm going to say this wrong, but the retirement, there's like another meeting.
Senior Citizens Group?
Yes, the Senior Citizens Group, and started attending those. They went to one already, and I think we're going to start making that more of a priority as well, to start attending and just having a forum of discussion and ask questions of us in the school. We don't want to segregate the school out. We are part of this community, and I think we need to make this more of a cohesive unit, so we're trying.
Why does the board feel that the senior citizens are an important constituency? They probably don't have kids in school anymore.
They probably don't have kids in school, but they still pay taxes, so they have a voice.
There you go. That's the answer.
Mm-hmm.
Now, the school board oversees both what goes on at Chester Academy and Pinkerton Academy, right?
Mm-hmm.
What are the different issues between the two that you address or are on the list?
Oh, yeah. So we have more of a say in Chester, right? Because we run that district, we run that school. Pinkerton, it's a contract. So I want to say all we really have control over, but what we mostly have control over is that contract and trying to negotiate that out. And that happens every 5 years. We just finished that up last year and ended up not making any changes to the contract. We couldn't come to agreement on the things that we wanted. So we just left it as is.
So this school year is the first year of the next 5?
Yes. Yes. But we also, as a district, it's not just Chester and Pinkerton, it's all of our outplacements as well. Mm-hmm. And so students that go to charter schools that maybe need a paraeducator to go with them and working those out, and any out-district special needs students.
Gotcha.
Around.
So talk about Chester Academy, if that's where
Sure.
a lot of the effort goes.
Yes.
What are the biggest challenges facing it in the next 3 to 5 years?
So building maintenance we have coming up. And I don't want to say the building is old because it's not really relatively compared to other buildings we have. However, it is at the age where even in a regular house, you're going to start replacing things. It's coming up on 30 years old. So roofing needs to start getting replaced. We're trying to save for that instead of asking for a bill all at once. We have roofing coming up. We're trying to save for new boilers. Working out some flooding outside the school areas, the standing water issues that we've been having. So I see some building maintenance issues coming up, as well as, like I've said earlier, working on that curriculum, making sure that it's cohesive for getting our kids through to Pinkerton, especially in the math area, and making more progress when it comes to that.
Do board members have the opportunity to instigate new initiatives, or is it all a group decision? And have you
At the
made
end of the
anything
day,
that's-
whenever we're making a decision, it's a group decision.
Okay.
You can be on committees. So I was on a policy for curriculum committee a couple of years ago, where it's just you and another board member. And because you're appointed to that committee, you have authority to make decisions within that committee. But when it comes to a board decision, it's the group of 5.
So teacher and staff salaries are always a big issue.
Yes.
How does the school board address that?
So teachers are union, so they have their contract. Same thing with paraeducators. That was just passed this past year, was the paraeducator contract. So those are negotiated out by 2 board members against whoever the representative is from the other side. Sometimes it's just a teacher, and sometimes they ask their union rep to come negotiate with us. So that's how those are decided, and then we try to come to negotiation and agreement. And once we have a tentative agreement, we bring that to the voters for them to decide if they like that contract or they don't. And they want to vote for it and pay for it or they don't. And then we also have most of our admin and a couple others that are not union contracts. So they're just one-on-one contracts. And those are done in a non-public session where we talk about salaries increases or decrease or what we're looking for those positions for the future.
So there's a lot more to it than I think most people realize
Probably.
from the outside looking in.
Probably.
You're not just those in control. You are those who think of the problems, identify them, and then address them.
Yes, we try to.
Is there anything else you'd like to say as closing remarks to talk to the voters?
I think all I would say is that if you've liked the way the school has gone in the past 3 years, the directions that we've started taking the school, then I was part of every one of those decisions. So if you have liked it, please vote for me. If you haven't, that's okay too. We don't always have to agree, but I hope that I have your vote.
There are 2 candidates on the ballot, correct?
As far as I know, yes.
And folks can select 2.
Correct. There's 2 open positions.
That bodes very well for you in terms of
Hopefully.
odds.
Yes.
Well, listen, thank you. We've been talking to Kristina Bickford, who is a candidate for school board in the upcoming election. A reminder that the town election will be held on Tuesday, May 12th, and the polls are open from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. in the MPR. 2 days after that is the town meeting. That's on May 14th, starting at 6 p.m. in the MPR. And so again, thank you, Kristina. Nicely done.
Thank you.
Also, thanks to all of you for watching this edition of Politics in Chester. Tune in again to meet the other candidate for school board and those on the ballot for select board, because all of these programs can be seen as scheduled on Chester Pact The school board will be on Comcast Channel 22, and anytime you can watch them on demand from the PACT website, which is accessible through the town website. So for Carl Knutson and Public Access Community Television here in Chester, I'm Joe Biedrzycki. Thanks for watching.